Alright, so I'm going to talk about parabolas, and parabolas is one of several conic sections. And a conic section involves circles, hyperbolas, parabolas, and so on. So what's so special about a parabola? Well, if you look at the graph, you have, it might look something like this, where it's just two pieces going on forever. So, this is a parabola. This is also a parabola right here. This is also a parabola right here. Parabolas are just, it looks like kind of like half circles in a way. So, how would you define what a parabola is? Well, a parabola is an equation that only has one square in it. So this is a square, so there cannot be any more squares. So this is a parabola. This is a parabola. This is y squared plus x equals 7. That's a parabola. This is not a parabola. This is not a parabola. And it has to have at least one square in it to be a parabola. And no more than one. So why is that? Why does it have only one square? Well, if you look at a graph, if we do like y equals x squared, this means that if y equals 9, x must equal 3 or x equals negative 3. Because when x is 3, 3 squared is 9, and negative 3 squared is 9. So that means that when y is 9 up here, say it's up here, x is both 3 and negative 3. And it keeps going. X is both this one and this one, this one and this one, this one and this one. And eventually you form, touch origin, you form a parabola. And that's what's so special about it. Now if, so you can kind of look at it as one, hold up. You kind of look at it as there is 2 x's for every y. So if you look at something like this and you see it's x squared plus y equals 0, you know that, okay, well there's 2 x's for every y. You know, alright. So let's look at some other ones. So if you have x equals y squared, this means that there's 2 y's for every x. So that means that for every x, there's 2 y's. So it might look something like this. And it goes the other way also, where if it's negative x or negative y, it'll go the opposite direction. That means that there's a negative y for every x. There's two, for every x, there's 2 y's. But it's going to be on the negative side because of the negative sign. So it's going to look something like this, with negative signs. So I think just to clarify, I'm going to do quick examples. So x squared looks like this. Y equals x squared, I mean. It's positive. Both sides are positive. And that means there's 2 x's for every y. Boom, boom. X, 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 x. So this is a graph of y equals x squared. Then we have negative y equals x squared. Or y equals negative x squared. Both ones, same thing. And this means that it's going to go in the opposite direction. Next we have x equals y squared. It's positive, so it's going to go in the positive direction. Like this. 2 y's for every x. And negative x equals y squared, or x equals negative y squared. Let's go in the opposite direction. So now that we kind of understand what a parabola is, in a way, we're going to talk about the actual formula of it. The actual formula of a parabola is this: x minus h squared equals 4p y minus k squared. Y minus k. A couple things to note. One, the h and the k is going to be the midpoint of it. Not the midpoint, but it's going to be the vertex. So if I have a graph like this, and I have something like this very bottom part is going to be hk. Or if I have something like this part's going to be hk. Okay. So that's going to be the the vertex. Next, notice the squared up here with the x. So if it's on x side, that means it's going to be x squared. So you know that the graph's going to look like this. Notice how 4p is positive, so it's going to be positive x squared. Now, if you see something like this, this is k. 4p x minus h. See how it squares at y? So it's going to look like this. And you're going to follow the same rules that we just went over. Okay. This is all cool and all, but how would we apply this? So I'm going to make up a random parabola. Hopefully it works out. And I'm going to say x squared plus 8y plus 3x minus 2 equals 6. Oof. Well, right off the bat, we notice that there's only one square in this whole thing. So it's going to be a parabola. So first thing first, we want to get everything on one side. So we're going to keep all the x's over here. X squared plus 3x equals, move everything to the other side, and we're going to get 8y plus, negative 8y, because you subtract, plus 2 plus 6. And what I did was I moved 8 over here, so I subtracted 8. I moved the 2 over here, so I added 2. And I have this equation right here. So I'm going to add like terms. Plus 3x equals negative 8y plus 8. Okay. At this point, what I want to do is show you how to complete the square. So, right here, might get a little messy. Guess I'll move it right here. So, right here, we're going to do a thing where you complete the square, in which you go backwards. I think I'm going to make another video just to cover completing the square. But what you basically do is do half of this squared. So you're going to do x, half of this squared is going to be 3 over 2, which is squared is 9 over 4. Whoops. Sorry, it's going to be 3 over 2. And half of that square is 9 over 4. And we're going to add that to the other side. 9 over 4. And I could show you why in a different video. But after that, you continue to add like terms. Squared equals negative 8y. And add these two, you need like denominators. So you have 8 plus 9 over 4. multiply top and bottom by 4. You get 32 over 4 plus 9 over 4, which equals 41 over 4 plus 41 over 4. And this is about to get really sloppy because of the random numbers I took. So right now the goal is to get this. Whoops. X minus h squared equals 4p y minus k. So we got this correct. Now we just have to get this part. How do we do that? Well, we gotta get y by itself. So we're gonna pull out a negative 8. Y, and we pull out negative 8 from here. What you're actually doing is you're dividing by 8. So it's gonna be minus 41 over 32. Yeah, so after that, negative 8 is going to be the 4p. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this equal to negative 8. We're saying 4p is equal to negative 8. When you solve for p, you get p equals negative 1/2. So our overall equation is going to be x plus 3 over 2 squared equals negative 1/2 y minus 41 over 32. Boom. Now, I understand this might be confusing, so I'm going to plan on making a couple more videos just to cover everything just to cover the understanding of everything that just happened. So now that I have this, what I can do is I have the midpoint, just these two, well, the vertex. So the vertex is going to be, remember, it's x minus k, h, and y minus k. So the x is going to be negative this, so it's going to be negative 3 over 2. The second one's going to be negative this, was going to be 41 over 32. That's going to be the midpoint. Right here, what this says is that it's negative, so it's going to be flipped. And since it's x squared, instead of doing this, it's going to do this. So it's going to be like right here. It's going to look like this. Whoops. There we go. That's how the parabola would look. So I know this is really confusing, so I plan on making a couple more videos just to break down exactly what's going on. And if you have any questions, make sure you refer to my other videos. And if you followed along nicely, then you should be good to go.